Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. I am absolutely delighted that football is back tomorrow. Chelsea are away at Leicester in the early kickoff. This is the George Benson Football Channel and this is your match preview as we look ahead after Thomas Tuchel's press conference to what is going to be a very tricky game. Leicester, when you look at the Premier League table, nothing special so far this season, but as the many other people in football who have semi-much of an idea as to what's going on, Brendan Rodgers, there's flirtatious links with United, but he's very coy about it. He's at a very good club, a very well-run club, and I think that very soon we're going to see Leicester turn what is at the moment kind of ill fortune back around and they'll start flying up the Premier League again. Hopefully, that does not begin tomorrow at the King Power Stadium at the hands of Chelsea Football Club, who are 3 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. But there is a bug, this Barley. There's always bloody bugs everywhere, but this one decides he wants to be involved in the vids. Before we get into looking through my match preview in terms of who I believe is going to play for Chelsea, be sure to subscribe to the George Benson Football Channel and please, if you can, turn on the bell notification button so that YouTube notifies you whenever I post a video. At the moment, YouTube is chaos. They're going through algorithmic changes. It makes my job a little bit more stressful than I would normally like to admit that it is. It is not a stressful job sitting talking about Chelsea, but when all of a sudden 3/4 of your viewership just disappear off the face of the earth, you do start to wonder what's going on. It's like turning up for work one day and normally you sell milkshakes and all of a sudden the milkshake machine's disappeared. You wonder what the bloody hell is going on. But enough of me making dreadful comparisons about YouTube and milkshake making for jobs. Let's take a little look at Leicester's current form. They drew away at Leeds in their last Premier League game. They were beaten quite convincingly actually at home to Arsenal in a game where, well, I say convincing, if it wasn't for the magnificent heroics in the goal from Aaron Ramsdale, Leicester probably would have got something from that game. And then they also won away at Brentford. They've scored 6, conceded 7 in their last few matches. And I think tomorrow, Chelsea are going to be in for a difficult lunchtime, this one. It's not going to be easy. Youri Tielemans, who's one of Leicester's best players, he is not available, which is big news for Chelsea, as he also likes to score against us, as he did in the FA Cup, when Kepa Arrizabalaga was caught in that game. Youri Tielemans scored a wonder goal. Chelsea's recent form, apart from that draw at home to Burnley, which is really a blip in what has been a phenomenal Chelsea run, our form has been excellent. And we've just got to hope and, well, make sure it's not necessarily hope. We've just got to work on those things that didn't work against Burnley, which was poor finishing predominantly. No Romelu Lukaku. Unfortunately, he's still injured. He's only been training with the ball for the last couple of days, so it's a bit too soon for him. No Mateo Kovacic, Timo Werner. Thomas Tuchel pretty much alluded to if there's any involvement from Timo tomorrow, it's going to be from the bench. And from the way that Tuchel sounded within his press conference, I do feel as though it is, unless we really need Timo, we're not going to see Timo Werner away at Leicester tomorrow. Now, if we look at the last 20 matches between Chelsea and Leicester City, Leicester have won 4. 2 of them have been at home, 2 away. 11 wins for Chelsea with 5 draws involved. Chelsea have won just over 1 of every 2 games against Leicester. It's never an easy fixture, but we have lost 2 of the last 5 with 1 draw and 2 victories in there too. Just looking through the fact sheet on the left-hand side. And you know what? We are just going to let the facts roll up on the screen whilst we talk a little bit about the team news. Of course, for Chelsea, we've spoken. Kovacic is out. Lukaku is out. Alonso, usually substitute, but it's fine. As for Leicester, they're missing Tielemans and also Wesley Fofana, a player who has been linked with Chelsea this week in the media. He said that Chelsea would be one of his dream Premier League moves. But what that isn't important at this moment in time. The young Frenchman, 20 years old, is linked with Chelsea. I've not really reported about that here on GBFC, but he is a good player and he's not available tomorrow for Leicester. However, it is time. It's been 2 whole weeks. I am delighted to tell you we are here to build my Chelsea starting 11 that will go to Leicester tomorrow and hopefully pick up a massive 3 points on the road, sustaining our place at the top of the Premier League table before very tough games at home to United and away to West Ham United. That's disrespectful, really. Manchester United. West Ham are ahead of them in the table. We should be calling Man United United and West Ham United. They deserve the full shebang. We begin with the goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. African Cup of Nations is coming for Chelsea in January when we've got 3 incredibly difficult fixtures. I believe we've got Liverpool, Manchester City and Spurs as 3 Premier League matches in a row. Until that moment, Edouard Mendy, I believe, will remain as Chelsea's #1 goalkeeper unless, touch wood, there is a serious dip in form. Mendy deserves it and he is back in Chelsea's goal. Moving into a centre-back 3. Azpilicueta, Christensen and Rudiger. I would love to put Thiago Silva in there, but every single time it's just after the international break. Man's been in Brazil. I believe he actually went this time. I remember last time he didn't actually go and I said he did and I got it wrong. This time, I do believe Thiago Silva was in Brazil, but I think it's going to be too soon. With all the travelling and the distance that he had to go, Andreas Christensen in the middle, absolutely more than confident. Tony Rudiger, we all know the conversation about Rudiger at the moment. I won't drain your ears with it any more than it needs to be said. I want Rudiger to sign a new deal, and I think the majority of you do too as well. You do too, yeah, makes sense. Rudy on the left, and I put Azpi in the right centre-back position, because I think in this game, Chelsea, just after an international break, Thomas Tuchel's not had long with the players since they returned from their international teams. You want to get a bit of experience in a fixture like this one. Nothing against Trev. I think Chalobah's done an incredible job, and he's almost not necessarily made that position his own, but he is 100% fighting to stake a claim to start there every single time. And we know, if we move forward, that the wing-back on the right is going to be Reece Boyd James, and on the left, it's Benjamin bloody Chilwell. These two, just in scintillating form. Reece James, beautiful assist for England again. England, absolutely on fire in the World Cup qualifiers, qualifying for Qatar, amazing stuff. Both Reece James and Ben Chilwell are going to be on a serious high after this international camp. England were phenomenal. And I think these two will be looking to carry on what has been pretty special form for Chelsea Football Club. They're used as wing-backs, but the role that they're now being asked to do, and that they are successfully doing so well, is almost like they're doing multiple jobs in one. They've got the defensive side of things on lock because they've got the brilliant support of the 3 centre-backs. And at times, they're like left and right inverted forwards, Reece James and Ben Chilwell. They've been incredible. They've been contributing goals, and as Chelsea fans, we can only hope that that is going to continue. We move into my central midfield 2, sticking with the 3-4-3 that we've seen Thomas Tuchel pick so often. No Mateo Kovacic. Jorginho, Italy, it's been a little bit of a sticky one, this one for me. I've not really liked it from Georgie. I think it's going to maybe weigh on his shoulders a little bit. So for that reason, I'm picking Ruben Loftus-Cheek in this game. A lot of people I've seen on Twitter as well. Ruben is a very popular player. But I think also, in terms of making a decision based on a football basis also, I think that with Ruben and Kante in there, we can almost be a little bit more gambling in terms of putting a bit more attacking essence in that midfield too, despite the front 3, because that back line has just been so good. And I think Ruben, when he's played in that midfield too, he's not only looked defensively sound, but going forward, he's a brilliant transitional player for Chelsea. Can carry the ball forward, can see a pass, and then there's also the brilliance both in defensive movements. When Chelsea do and don't have the ball, we know just how good N'Golo Kante is. So I think that midfield too is good enough with no Youri Tielemans for Leicester to dominate the midfield for Chelsea. Moving into a front 3. No Timo, no Lukaku, but there is a return for Christian Pulisic. Now, do I think Pulisic is going to start this game? No. The reason I think he isn't going to start is because Callum Hudson-Odoi has been in great form. He deserves the start, so I've put him in there. Kai Havertz through the middle, and Mason Mount on what will probably look like the right-hand side of a front 3. Mason, I think it is his time now. I think we saw in a couple of the games before the Burnley draw, Mason Mount was starting to get his rhythm back. He was starting to get that class back, and I think together, after, I'm sure you guys have all seen Porto Uncovered by now, remembering that Mason Mount pass to Kai Havertz, we just know that these two, when they're on song, can link up together brilliantly. Kai Havertz was exceptional for Germany during the international break too, scored a couple of goals, and I think for him, it's very much just, he's a confidence player. And at the moment, after a good international break, Kai Havertz is going to be confident. With Lukaku coming back as well, he knows that he really has to put in a good performance to keep on staking the claim to be in this Chelsea side. So, you guys can see my starting 11 up on the screen now. As for my score prediction, it's always the way that the match preview goes on GBFC. We give the starting 11, then I let you guys know what I think is going to happen in the game. There is still the Jamie Vardy threat of Leicester City. He's a top quality player still, and he does like playing against the big teams. Leicester, they've also got this little knack of stepping up when it's a big team coming to the King Power Stadium. Didn't happen against Arsenal, but people haven't been considering them a big team again recently. Although I think now they're definitely destined to finish in the top 4 based off of Arteta's current form. I'm going to say Leicester 1, Chelsea 2. No clean sheet for Mendy, which is a surprise. But, you know, after 12 games, if you've only conceded 5 goals, it isn't too bad. And I think there'll be enough firepower, and I think the onus will be on finishing our chances. I think we're going to score from outside the box. I think it's going to be Callum Hudson-Odoi bending one in from the left-hand side with his right foot into the bottom corner. And I think Kai Havertz is going to score a header. Chelsea to win 2-1 away at Leicester. Let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my starting 11. Pulisic to hopefully come on and have an impact off the bench. I'm going to say he gets the assist for Kai Havertz winning goal. Bold predictions, but, you know, it is what it is. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. I don't really care about that, but if we get it right, I like to shout about it. Hope you guys have a great Friday night. Hope you have a great weekend, and hopefully, after the game tomorrow, it will be a positive 6 things we learned. So make sure you stay tuned to that. Subscribe, bell notifications, you know the drill, and hit the like button on this video if you did enjoy it. See you guys later. Come on, you Blues.